Se você já ficou nervoso só de pensar em responder perguntas simples em inglês, imagina encarar uma entrevista de emprego em uma empresa internacional. Calma, respira, porque no episódio de hoje do nosso Conversation Club Podcast, a gente vai te mostrar exatamente como se destacar em processos seletivos lá fora. Você vai aprender a responder as perguntas-chave que todo recrutador faz. E o melhor, com segurança, clareza e confiança para brilhar na sua próxima entrevista. Let's go!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Conversation Club. I'm Ellie.
And I'm James. And we're super excited to spend some time with you today talking about a topic that, let's be honest, keeps many people up at night: job interviews in English.
Exactly, James. And it's understandable, isn't it? It's a moment of great pressure. And when you add the challenge of communicating in another language, things get even tenser. But the good news is that we're here to demystify all of this and give you valuable tips from beginner to intermediate level.
Our goal is for this conversation to be light, fun, and above all, super useful. We want you to feel like you're chatting with friends, but leaving here with an arsenal of strategies to ace your next interview. We'll cover everything from the first hello to the thank you for your time.
And to start off on the right foot, James, what would you say is the very first, most crucial step, even before stepping into the interview room or turning on the camera for a call?
Oh, Ellie, that's an easy one. Preparation, preparation, and more preparation. There's no secret. And the first item on the preparation list is research the company. It's essential to know where you're stepping. Knowing the company's values, mission, recent projects, this not only gives you confidence, but also shows the recruiter that you have a genuine interest in the position. It's not just another application, you know?
Absolutely, James. And this research goes far beyond a quick glance at the website. It's about diving into LinkedIn, checking recent news, understanding the culture. This gives you ammunition for questions and to show that you're a good fit. But James, after the research, when the interview actually begins, there is that part that many people underestimate, the famous small talk.
Small talk. That casual conversation that seems to lead nowhere, but is super important for breaking the ice and creating a more comfortable environment. I remember my first interview in English. I was so focused on not making a mistake with technical vocabulary that when the interviewer asked, "Did you have any trouble finding the office?" I almost froze.
It happens to the best of us. It's a classic situation. The recruiter doesn't want to know the exact route you took. They want to see how you communicate in a more relaxed setting. It's a way to assess your communication and adaptability. A simple, polite answer like, "Not at all. The directions on your website were very clear, thank you," is enough. Or if you had a small mishap, you can even use humor. A little bit, but the beautiful view from your building made it worth it.
Good one. And the trick is to keep your answers short, and if you feel comfortable, even turn the question back to them. If they ask, "How was your weekend?" you can reply, "It was great, thanks. I went hiking with my family. How about yours?" This shows you're engaged and interested. It's a social dance, not an interrogation.
Perfect. And after this warm-up, James, usually comes the first big question, one that seems simple but is a trap for many. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What does the recruiter really want to know here?
Oh, Ellie, this is the question that makes your heart race, right? We think, oh, my goodness, where do I start? My whole life story? But relax. The recruiter doesn't want to know your family tree or your zodiac sign. They want a concise, professional version of your career path and skills that are relevant to the position. It's your chance to give an elevator pitch about yourself.
Exactly. It's your opportunity to show how your professional experience and your education align with what they're looking for. A good structure would be start with your education, move on to your most relevant experiences, and finish with what excites you about the opportunity. For example, sure, my name is James. I have a degree in business administration and over 7 years of experience working in project management. In my last role at XYZ Corp, I was responsible for leading cross-functional teams and delivering projects on time and within budget. I'm excited about this opportunity to bring my skills to your team and contribute to your innovative projects.
Wow, Ellie, that was a master answer. Direct, relevant, and with a touch of enthusiasm. And the key is to practice this answer, but not memorize it word for word. The idea is to have the main points in your head so it sounds natural and not like a robot reciting a script. Record yourself, listen, adjust. This really helps with confidence.
Great tip, James. Practice makes perfect, or at least natural. Now, let's move on to a question that's almost a classic and tests the candidate's self-awareness. What are your strengths and weaknesses? How do we approach strengths?
Strengths are the fun part. It's your chance to shine. But it's not enough to just list qualities. You need to connect your strengths directly to the job requirements and give concrete examples of how they've been useful. For example, if the position requires leadership, you could say, one of my greatest strengths is my leadership ability. In my previous role, I successfully mentored a team of 5 junior analysts, which resulted in a 20% increase in team productivity. This shows rather than just tells.
Excellent. Show, don't just tell. It's the difference between a generic answer and one that truly impresses. But what about the trickier part, James? The weaknesses? How do we talk about them without sabotaging ourselves?
Weaknesses. This is where you need to be honest, but strategic. The recruiter doesn't expect you to be perfect. They want to see your self-awareness and your capacity for development. The key is to choose a real weakness, but one that isn't crucial for the job, and show what you're doing to improve it. For example, my greatest weakness used to be public speaking. I would get incredibly nervous. However, I've been actively working on this by joining a Toastmasters club and volunteering to present more often at work. I've noticed a significant improvement in my confidence and delivery, and I'm now much more comfortable presenting to larger audiences. This shows proactivity and a willingness to grow.
Wow, James, that's a perfect answer. It demonstrates that you know your areas for improvement and that you're actively working on them. It's about showing that you're a professional in constant evolution. And speaking of showing interest, another question that always comes up is, why do you want to work here? What should the candidate highlight here?
This question is a litmus test for your research, Ellie. The recruiter wants to know if you genuinely care about the company, or if you're just applying everywhere. It's your chance to show that you've done your homework and that your values align with the organization's. You can mention something specific you admire about the company, like its innovation, sustainability, or a recent project. For example, I'm genuinely impressed by your company's commitment to sustainable practices and its leadership in developing eco-friendly technologies. I've been following your recent initiatives, particularly Project Greenwave, and I'm excited by the possibility of contributing my expertise in renewable energy to such impactful work. This shows passion and alignment.
What a powerful answer, James. It's much more than just saying because it's a good company. It's about personalizing it, showing that you see yourself as part of that purpose. And to continue along the lines of questions that assess more than just your resume, we have the famous situational questions like, can you describe a challenging situation and how you handled it? Or tell me about a time when you had to deal with a difficult client. How do we prepare for these?
These are the questions that test your problem-solving skills and your ability to work under pressure. And the best way to answer them is by using the STAR technique: situation, task, action, and result. First, describe the situation, context, then the task you needed to accomplish, next, the actions you took to solve the problem, and finally, the positive result of your actions. For example, certainly, in my previous role, we had a critical project with a tight deadline, and one of our key team members unexpectedly left the company. Situation. My task was to ensure the project remained on track despite the reduced team. Task. I took the initiative to reassign tasks, cross-trained other team members, and worked extra hours to cover the gap. Action. In the end, we not only met the deadline, but also exceeded client expectations, which led to a new contract. Result. This structure is golden.
The STAR technique is truly a game changer for these questions. It helps you organize your narrative and highlight your competencies clearly and impactfully. And to complement that, James, how do we deal with the question about stress and pressure? How do you handle stress and pressure?
This question aims to understand your strategies for stress management and how you remain calm in high-demand situations. The recruiter wants to know if you crumble under pressure or if you have mechanisms to cope with it. It's important to show that you have a plan. For example, I handle stress by staying organized and prioritizing my tasks effectively. For instance, during peak periods, I create a detailed schedule, break down large tasks into smaller, manageable steps, and make sure to take short, strategic breaks to clear my head. This approach helps me maintain focus, prevent burnout, and consistently deliver high-quality work even under tight deadlines. It's about proactivity and self-management.
Excellent. Showing that you have a system, that you're not caught off guard by stress, but actively manage it. That conveys a lot of confidence. And now, James, we've reached the final stretch of the interview. The interviewer usually asks, "Do you have any questions for us?" How important is this part?
Ellie, this is one of the most underestimated parts of the interview, but it's crucial. Saying, "No, I think you've covered everything," is a big mistake. It shows a lack of interest and engagement. This is your chance to turn the tables, to show that you're evaluating the company just as much as they're evaluating you. It's your opportunity to ask smart questions that demonstrate your genuine interest and strategic vision.
I completely agree. It's the moment to show that you're a curious professional who thinks long-term. What would be some examples of good questions to ask, James?
Good questions could be, what are the next steps in the interview process to understand the timeline? Can you tell me more about the team I would be working with and its dynamics to understand collaboration and interpersonal relationships? Or what are the biggest challenges facing the company right now, and how do you envision this role contributing to overcoming them? That last one is powerful because it shows you're already thinking about solutions and how you can add value.
I love that last one. It's a question that positions you as a problem solver. And to top it all off, James, there's that question about the future. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? How do you align the answer with your career path and the company?
This question isn't about predicting the future, but about showing your career aspirations and how they fit into the company's growth. The recruiter wants to see if you have ambition and if the company can offer the path you're looking for. Avoid generic answers like, "I see myself as CEO of this company." Instead, focus on development, learning, and contribution. For example, in 5 years, I see myself having developed a deep expertise in area relevant to the position, taking on more leadership responsibilities, and consistently contributing to the company's strategic goals. I'm particularly excited about the opportunities for growth and continuous learning that company offers, and I believe my skills and ambition align perfectly with your long-term vision. This shows that you've thought about your career path within that organization.
What a mature and strategic answer, James. It's about showing that you have a plan, but that you're flexible and want to grow with the company. And with these tips, I think we've covered the main stages of a job interview in English from start to finish.
Absolutely, Ellie, and I hope our listeners feel much more prepared and confident now. Remember, preparation is key. Confidence comes from practice, and clear communication is your greatest ally.
Exactly. And for you to continue improving your skills, we have a special invitation. If you enjoyed our content and want more tips like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any episodes.
And for our challenge today, we want you to get hands-on. In the comments, answer the question, "Tell me a little bit about yourself." Use the tips we gave today. Focus on your career path and your relevant skills. We want to see your answers.
That's right. Let's practice together. We'd love to read your answers and see how you're developing. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Conversation Club.
Thanks, everyone. And until next time, keep practicing and you'll ace that interview.